Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classics of Cinematics, and it's time to bring the action with my co-host Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo!
Yeah, folks, man, so today we're going to be looking at True Lives from 1994, directed by James Cameron, man, and this film, secretly a spy, but thought by his family to be a doll salesman, Harry, is tracking down nuclear missiles in the possession of Islamic jihadist Aziz. Harry's mission is complicated when he realizes his neglected wife Helen is contemplating an affair with Simon, a used car salesman who claims he's a spy. When Aziz kidnaps Harry and Helen, the secret agent must save the world and patch up his marriage at the same time, man. This film was released July 15th of 1994. And in this film, we've got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold, Bill Paxton, Eliza Dushku, Tia Carrere, Art Malik, and that's it for our main people in this film. You know, a lot of bad guys, you know, in this thing as well, man. But this thing was a blockbuster film, man. Made a lot of money, you know. Kind of brought Arnold Schwarzenegger back after he kind of fumbled with The Last Action Hero. It's interesting that Last Action Hero flopped when this thing also borrows what that film was trying to do as far as mixing in the comedy with it and having this kind of tongue-in-cheek and approach and kind of, you know, making fun of the situation itself, man, you know.
But Last Action Hero didn't have some of the supporting cast value that this one does have, you know what I'm saying? But like for me personally, I mean, this film is entertaining as all hell. It pulls no punches when it comes to the spy level stuff, but you know what really works is this comedic value that it has, because it helps tone down the seriousness. And you know what I really appreciate is this family element, like this living a double life, and you know the with Arnold Schwarzenegger's character being this super secret agent spy, but then trying to portray himself as just this like dull, you know, homemaker, husband guy. You know,
he's not bad in this, man.
He's really not.
I think this is one of his better performances, man. Like I think I'll probably hold Predator in maybe at the peak of his theme, but because for what he does and what he brings to the game, he fit perfectly in that film. But for him playing some of these scenes out with his family and being this character that you're supposed to believe is a spy, he's not bad. He's hitting some comedic notes. He's having fun with it. And you know, and he's throwing on a little charm at times, man. This is one of his best roles, bro.
It's really cool because, you know, because of that, that's what separates this film from other films like the James Bond films or Mission Impossible. But what really works too is because this is at a point where Arnold was getting more dialogue in his roles. You know what I'm saying? In Predator and Conan, he barely spoke. He just grunted and kicked ass and punched camels and shit. But you know what I'm saying? But by this point, he actually like he showed he has a personality. You know what I'm saying? And also like it's a heartwarming personality. He's still giving us everything that we would expect from an Arnold Schwarzenegger driven film. You know what I'm saying? He's the front runner, and when it comes to the action, he doesn't fall short. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's going to deliver there for sure.
Yes, you know? but the fact that they kind of loosened the vice on him a little bit and was like, be a little more talkative too. You know what I'm saying? Show him the family side of you, the more, you know, nicer side of your character arc as Harry Tasker as well.
Bump that up in the script, man. You know, so the story is kind of cool, man. My only complaint though, I do gotta you know, call it out as I see it, the trope of the Middle Eastern terrorists. You know what I'm saying? That is a little bit heavy handed here, and I feel like you probably could have did something better to make these bad guys a little bit better, because that is probably my one complaint that's missed from this. We don't have a really bad, and Cameron is usually good at getting really good bad guy characters. I mean, you look at Paul Reiser and Aliens, you look at the Terminator
with Arnold and Terminator, or the T-1000. I mean, come on,
and other films that he's done. Trying to think of something else that he had a good bit. Even in The Abyss, man, when what's my man's name? Who played Richie in Sopranos, when he goes bad, he goes nuts. He's been good at that. But this one, I think, falls short in that department, but you don't really notice that so much because the other stuff is so good, you know?
And I'm with you 100%. Like, this film actually was so offensive to, you know, people of Middle Eastern descent and everything. And they were trying to have this film banned in Arab and Middle Eastern countries. They probably didn't play it much in their countries, yes. You know? And the one thing is that this film did come out
the Crimson Jihad.
It's like, it did come out pre 9/11, and the wild thing is that they were going to do a sequel. They had the whole script written out. They had everything. Everyone was locked in. Curtis was coming back. Schwarzenegger coming back. Tom Arnold was coming back. But after 9/11, it was just deemed distasteful. It was like, man, this is not funny now. And because
especially if you're going to have the same kind of bad guys.
Still have the same kind of bad guys. And I do think that Art Malik, who played Salim Abdul Aziz, he did good. He was a serviceable bad,
but it wasn't like, you know,
like you said, it was just so
he don't got no memorable lines. He's there.
It was just and it was so stereotypical in an offensive way towards, you know, people of Muslim descent, that it's just like that does take away from it. But the one thing that kind of saves this film and kind of brings it back into, you know, a high level of rewatchability for me is because the main focus is on the family aspect and him living this double life, trying to be the super spy and the good husband, father, and just ultimately lying through every step of his life.
For me, with my rewatch, his overall mission, honestly, you quickly forget what the fuck that's about.
What is his mission?
The meat of this film is, as the name implies, the true lie that he's been telling specifically his wife. You know, the daughter's there, but she's a teenager. She's not as into it, but the wife himself. And it's weird because, like, the thing that's funny about it is the way Jamie Lee Curtis's character is presented is like, how did they even get together? How would they, like,
yes.
It's just like she does not seem like the type of person that will be with a guy like this. Like, she's so homebody, like almost feels like a stereotypical librarian, you know, that we see in the movies.
Soft-spoken,
you know, like,
kind of just reserved, very in you know, like internalized. Like she was not an extrovert whatsoever, and it's wild because you see, you know, Arnold as Harry Tasker, and he's the complete opposite. Like he's chest out. He's doing all this crazy spy stuff. But then when he comes in, he portrays himself as this overly boring. Like I think he's a computer hardware software salesman or something. So it's like, you know. And she actually, there's one part where Helen, played by Curtis, is telling one of her coworkers, she's like, yeah, whenever I have problems sleeping, I just ask Harry to tell me one of his stories about what he did at work, and I fall right to sleep. So like, she's actually bored by him, you know what I'm saying? Which that also kind of leads to her character arc of that, you know, even though she is the way she is, she still has this hunger for adventure and this zest for life that she's just not receiving, but she could if honesty was at the forefront.
It leaves the opening for one of my favorite parts later for the character Simon, played by Bill Paxton, to kind of come at her. Because he's giving her attention that she's not getting from Harry, you know what I'm saying? In a way, you know, and it's funny because it's not like he specifically targeted her. This is what he does. I mean, he's a sleaze. He's a sleaze. But this is what he does to all the women. Yes, like, you know what I'm saying? And acts like he's a secret agent and works for the government, which may work on some women. Some women will probably blow him off, but there's probably some like, oh my God, he's interesting. He's so mysterious, but it's so funny that's his gimmick, man. He's like this crazy, like I could see Jack Tripper acting like this on an episode of Three's Company, trying to get some cheeks, like, yo.
Dude, did you see like how Simon pulls Helen? It's like he just sees her at a I think she was like a Chinese food restaurant or something. He sees her, runs up and drops his briefcase. He's like, hey, hold this. If they come, he was like, I'll contact you, and then he just runs out and shit, knowing she's gonna look. And then he has a suitcase full of like fake passports, and a little gun that doesn't work. I mean, all this shit. And hook, line, sinker. She bought it. She bought it all the way. And I mean, and like you said, it's like it adds to the sleaze of his character, but it is really cool seeing Paxton's versatility. Like, I mean, we have seen him play almost every kind of role under the sun, and this one is just like,
he's amazing, man. He's so good. I think another thing that stands out with this film is the supporting cast that they put around Schwarzenegger wherever he's lacking, everyone else excels. Like even Curtis, Arnold.
I was going to say, dude, Tom Arnold, this by far for me, this is Tom Arnold's best film that I've ever seen him in.
Yeah.
He was such a great supporting cast and a great support role to Arnold's character. I mean, like, he brought the raunch, he brought the funny to this. Like, his banter and the banter between the two of them, it's hilarious. Like, Tom Arnold, he was landing every single one of his jokes. And
I think we got robbed that him and Arnold didn't make another film, dude.
Yes,
like
and you know, and the thing is too is they have this on-screen chemistry, right? And it seems and feels so organic. And I found out through reading some little trivia and some notes and stuff, they actually became really good friends in the making of this film. Arnold's character was so good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Great, man.
And he brought so much energy to this film, and also brought the best out of Arnold's character, like Harry.
It's funny
Tasker.
because he's pretty much Arnold's guy in the chair for the mission.
Yes,
and it's funny because when the stuff starts going down with Simon, and he gets wind of it, and he's like, "Who is this guy?" And I love how they start using work resources to you know what I'm saying? It's like you going to work and using the printer at work to print off flyers for your yard sale, but he's doing this to figure out his relationship.
Harry wants to put a bug on his wife, and they're using everything, choppers, fucking like SWAT team, and it's funny because
so crazy. They got a whole dossier on this guy. They know everything. They go to his job.
Man, they bugged her purse, bugged her phone, and it was funny because Albert, who's played by Tom Arnold, he pulls him up. He's like, "Bro, we can get in big trouble for this." Like, and Arnold like kind of paints him in the corner. He's like, "Yeah, just like, you know, when you blew that one mission because you know you were doing some shit you shouldn't do. Don't make me spill the beans on you." But one of my favorite parts is when they first find out that dude's a car salesman, that Simon's a car salesman. And Arnold's like looking through the binoculars, and that's the thing. Albert's always in his ear. He's always just chirping, and he's like, this dude's a car salesman. He was like, I know you're upset and everything, but if this wasn't happening to you, you would see how funny this really is. Like Harry like squeezes the binoculars so hard that he breaks them and stuff. Because I mean, of course, he's upset. His wife is, giving the impression that she's interested in someone else who is portraying to live the life that he lives. Like,
that one scene is crazy where he tries to surprise her at work, and then Simon calls and he overhears her, and like
that's what leads to everything.
It is wild though, because and then that leads to the later on he starts I love that scene where he brings her in for interrogation, and he's got his voice disguised, and they got her in a room, and dude, this was a really emotional scene, man. In the middle of this crazy action movie, to put that in there, I think was brilliant, because she's really acting. She's opening up to him. He's opening up, or as much as he can, because he doesn't want to blow his cover. But the questions that are being asked and her reaction, and it's like, this is some real shit.
And it's wild because it is very sentimental. But then you got Tom Arnold as Albert. He's like covering the. He's like, bro, she's cheating on you. She's lying, bro. Like it's like Arnold's like, yo, can you just chill and let me handle this? And I thought it was cool that in Harry's own kind of special way, he was like, okay, you want this. You want this adventure. You want something meaningful, purposeful in your life, and he creates that for her, but it backfires.
That's when the enemy jumps out.
That's when the enemy jumps out because they on his heels anyway.
They grab him and her, and then the next thing you know, they're in custody, and then the shit is the fan in the middle of this going on. While they're kidnapped under distress, and it's like, oh my god, you've been lying to me. Like it's
the whole time,
you, bro. This film does not work, I think, without those. Other than that, it's just a generic action film. And this thing elevates it to a way higher level.
Well, man. I mean, because when you look at other films, like I said, like the James Bond franchises or the Mission Impossibles, they don't really bring in the family element. They act like these guys, they're rogue. They're by themselves. I mean, of course, James Bond always had a very attractive woman on his side, but they never showed what they were doing, like when the mission wasn't in play. What do you do in your off time, when you're off the clock, when you're not
fighting crimes? Back-to-back missions.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I thought that is what really drives this film and separates it in such a good way. But then when it comes to the action, we get so much action. Like, I mean, it starts off right out the gate. You see what kind of spy Harry is, because I mean, he comes in, he's out in Switzerland. He comes breaking through the ice, infiltrates the party, all suave, debonair, and then ends up doing what he needs to do, breaking in, getting the files and stuff. But then, man, out of left field, in commando fashion, he finds a way to dodge bullets. All the people they're on, the people chasing them, I guess they would be Switzerland terrorists or whatever, on skis, snowboards, snowmobiles, fully automatic weapons. My man had a gun, 9mm, looked like a 9mm Beretta that he never reloaded once, shot a billion trillion times. That's cool. We see that in Commando. He never reloaded in Commando either. But he's taking everybody out, and that just all that does is get us ready for all of the other action that's in store in this film. You know what I mean?
I just seen in the background, Charlton Heston is the big boss, and it's funny because he's got an eye missing. He's looking like Nick Fury.
Dude, I'm glad you said that, because that slipped my mind. Yes, James Cameron said that he wanted him to look like Nick Fury because he was a big Marvel fan.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's so funny to get this OG guy to come out of retirement damn near and then to be in this film. Well, what was your favorite action sequence, man?
Oh, good. I'm so glad you asked. It's when he chases Aziz on the motorcycle on the horse. Arnold's on the horse and Aziz is on the motorcycle.
Not only that, it stands out to me too because it happens in DC. Like he actually ends up in a mall in Georgetown, like in one of the Georgetown malls.
It was the Marriott
elevator. Dude.
Man. I mean, like I was thinking, crazy. I was writing this. I was like, bro, because when we do our other shows, we do the best chase scenes. That's gonna make my next list. Because I mean, dude, it's so cool. Because I mean, you see it just go from the street. Like I said, my man Aziz is on a ninja, Suzuki Ninja kind of thing. He's dipping, and then Arnold's on a police horse.
That's so funny, man.
And then they take it from the streets to inside the hotel, but then it gets real when they're sitting in that elevator. They're each on the elevators and like it's going up to the top. What do you do when you're at the top of the roof? And my man jumps the motorcycle off the roof, and you look down, and there is 6 lanes of street. So I don't know how far that would be in real life from one roof to the other to land into the pool. And the crazy thing is that then
I love he tries to go with the horse.
Harry wants to hit it with the horse, man. And you think they're gonna do this? Like, man, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. But then the horse goes ahead and he pumps the brakes. It's
crazy too because there's a wild fight in the bathroom in that thing, and I'm pretty sure they referenced that. They thought they were thinking of this film when they made that one in the Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill and Cruz was wrecking in the bathroom, man.
I'm not allergic to action scenes. I like talking about it.
Man. But it's crazy, man. Then later on, even they get the that's where the military cooperation in films comes into play, where they got the Harrier jets, on that bridge scene. That's crazy. Yeah, with the when he grabs her out the limo, that is a nutty ass scene.
Yes, when he's on the helicopter, he's like hanging off the helicopter. Come on, you do it, bro.
It just kind of symbolizes their relationship.
Those action scenes were great, but the stunt work was awesome. I mean, they said, it's funny because Arnold said that the hardest thing for him to do wasn't performing all the stunts and doing all the stunt work. That's cake to him. The hardest thing for him to do was learning how to tango. He had to he had to take a 6-month course to learn how to tango because he said that he wanted to make sure that he tangoed as good as Al Pacino did in Scent of a Woman.
I think he did all right with that because he's kind of been doing ballet. A lot of people don't know. If you watch that his documentary film, what was that thing called? The weightlifting joint.
Pumping Iron.
Yeah. And there's a scene in there where he's actually training with a ballet dancer to work on his poses for the Mr. Olympia competition. And that's a cheat code, man. People don't know. Like I think it was him and Lou Ferrigno.
It was him and Lou.
But I think Arnold did more of it. You know what I'm saying? And you could kind of see the results there. It's like, yo, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, he got his tango on, but then also there was a part where we already referenced the horse chase scene. He said that he almost lost his life, dog. He was riding the horse, and something happened that spooked the horse, and he fell off, and there was a 90-foot drop, and one of the stuntmen like saved, coming in off of $100 million budget. It says 100 mil to 120 mil budget. It pulled back 378.9 million worldwide, and this one came out and had to compete against other films like Forrest Gump and other films in this era that were or that came out at the same time that were like heavy hitting films. So, and I think they said that this one in Japan was number 1 on the charts for like 12 weeks or something like that. And it was one of only 3 like U.S. Hollywood films that had such a lengthy run in their country and everything. And I mean, it definitely, like I said, we already brought up the fact that it was supposed to spawn a sequel, but it was deemed distasteful. And then they also did a short run for a series that did not translate well. But one thing I do remember is it had a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah, I was going to say they
had a Super Nintendo game. Yeah. It was extremely hard. I could never get past the beginning. I couldn't get down the snow hill. Like I was terrible at the game, dog. I could not get down the snow hill.
I wonder if that was one of those Acclaim games.
Yeah, some of the Acclaim games were really, really hard.
Yeah, they were the ones that were getting all the
movie rights.
They got a lot of the movie tie-in games. Yeah, so I don't know who did that one. True Lies the game. Boom.
But what was cool about the game?
No, it wasn't a Acclaim game.
It wasn't. See, there you go. There you go. Yeah, I sucked at it. My brother was a lot better at me in video games. Still is by far. I'm not that good at them. But the cool thing about it was like watching him play the game. You got the cool like story monologues in between the actual gameplay, and it played just like the movie. You know what I mean? That was really cool as well.
Following the plot. I guess.
The plot. Yeah,
that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely say, man, rewatch this, man, if you haven't seen it in a while.
Absolutely.
If it's the first time, I don't know why you listen to all that before you know what I'm saying, you watch it. Yeah, man, definitely one of Arnold's best, man, for sure, man,
I'm with you 100%. High level rewatchability and a high entertainment value. This is one, it's lighthearted fun. You don't have to take it with a serious, approach. It's just fun. It's fun for the whole family. It's very, very enjoyable film. I enjoyed my watches of this. It just brought me back to like why I love Arnold as an action star. Like he does not disappoint often. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what's up, folks, man. I think we're going to wrap this up, man. Make sure you check out the QR code for some merch, man. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when these videos drop. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram. You can watch the show on at Classic Cinematics on Instagram. You can't watch it there, but follow us there for, to know what's happening, you know what I'm saying, in our world. And thanks for stepping in and checking us out.
Absolutely. And this is Bobby Blockbuster. And as always, you can catch me on the next show.
All right.